My name is Femi Akonde, and I welcome you all to the hottest debate show on TV. This is The Big Issue. Section 14, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, states that the composition of the government of the Federation or any of its agencies and the conduct of its affairs shall be carried out in such a manner as to reflect the federal character of Nigeria and the need to promote national unity and also to command national loyalty, thereby ensuring that there shall be no predominance of persons from a few states or from any ethnic group or other sectional groups in that government or any of its agencies. Now, this composition has been questioned. Commentators are saying, of what use has this federal character principle been to development in Nigeria? Some are even agitating that appointments into public offices should be based on merit. So today we toss the coin on the big issue and ask, is the federal character principle useful in Nigeria? Is it aiding development? Well, when we get back from this break, we get the debate started. You're watching The Big Issue. Welcome back. Is the federal character principle useful in Nigeria? To steer this debate, I have two gentlemen in the studio. But first, help me welcome Honorable Malam Moyosore Jaji. Welcome, sir. He's a former administrator of Ojodu local government. And he is saying that the federal character principle has aided national integration. And of course, it is very useful. Good to have you here, Malam. Welcome, Malam, again.
Good afternoon.
On the flip side, I have Professor Alaba Adenuga. Please come to the podium, sir. Welcome, Professor Alaba Adenuga. He is the Dean of the Faculty of Education in Olabisi Onabanjo University. He believes merit might be a better deal than zoning public office appointments. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you know what they say about politicians. Depend on the politician and you'll be poor. Use the politician and you will be rich. That's according to Father Aloy. Malam Jaji, a politician, we're here to use you today to make us rich. So we first ask, why do you believe that this federal character principle, as we have it in Nigeria, has helped national integration and cohesion?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I think it's a misnomer to say federal character. It should be federal equity. Because you see, Nigeria, we came into being, unlike other federations all over the place. We didn't sit down to, negotiate our being together. Somebody in 1914 and his wife just decided to say, yes, we will amalgamate the north and the southern part of Nigeria to aid British business interests. And that was how Nigeria came to be. We were told one Flora Shaw decided that the name should be Nigeria area. That's why we are now Nigeria. But if you are binding them, there must be basis for equity. Equity in the sense that we are told that Nigeria, we are populated by over 250 linguistic affiliations, linguistic groups. If you go to Edo State alone, from one village to the other, their dialects might not be the same. And here we are now, we have the big three in Nigeria, Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa Fulani, the three. What about those other small ones that didn't say they wanted to be in Nigeria, but they were brought together by, British economic interest? Their interest too must be taken into cognizance in whatever you do. That's why we say, instead of saying federal character, it should be equity character, everybody must be partaker and beneficiary of the enterprise called Nigeria.
Nigeria. Professor, you listen to Malam Jaji, but you still believe that we can make do with this thing called federal character and just have everything based on merit, and we'll move forward.
Well, I want to thank you, Mr. Moderator. But sincerely, I've listened to his history. Let's forget history now. We are talking about reality. We are talking of what we are facing now, and that's what's important to us. Even if you go back into the history, the amalgamation was not based on merit, because the Northerners were favored against the Southerners. And that was why, if you look at the population of Nigeria today, over 70% were given to the Northerners. Are we talking of the landmass, or we are talking of the people staying in that area? But today, I want to tell you, if you look at this country, where there is no merit, there can be development. If people are judged by what they have, by what they possess, and they are given opportunity to express themselves, there will be better development in Nigeria, and we'll have a nice place to live in Nigeria.
Where there is no merit, there can be development. But you say where there is federal character, it engenders development.
You see, the whole thing, ideally, we should
It's a federal equity. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Is that what you call it?
Instead of federal character.
Federal equity.
Equity. Because we didn't, if I say yes, Mr. Akonde, let us be friends. You agree to be my friend, I agree to be your friend.
There should be terms and conditions.
You know, how do we negotiate with this friendship? What do we get out of it? Now we were forced together, and we are now saying EFIC, IBIBIO, and those smaller groupings, IJOS, Shakiri, in the north, TV, there are so many, 250 for God's sake. And you now say, yes, it should be merit. Ideally, the merit must be taken into cognizance. But you need to take care of those people too, whose forefathers were never consulted when Nigeria was to be what we are today. And whatever we are today, I mean, we should not negate history.
But we have
the likes of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, the likes of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the likes of Chief Azikwe, we knew what they were doing then. When did we introduce federal character issue into our governance? It was a military introduction. Because when the military, the British were departing, there were these pockets of, you know, dissension, apprehension, that you people, you are going away. How do you want us to survive in the midst of these big three? There's this commission, Wilkins Commission, that submitted its report in 1958, specifically for the people of the East. Because the Calabar, Ogoja, and Rivers, we call them core. They said the Igbos are taking over everything. So before you go away with Mr. British, take care of this. And they examine it. When they examine it, they found out some sociological facts. But they said that was not enough for them to do what they wanted. They said they should create states. As at that time, Wilkins Commission denied them the creation of states. But in 19 whatever, between Muritala and Abacha and Babangida, don't you have core state now? We have rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River. In Yoruba land, we have Ondo, Osun, Ogun, what again? Oyo, Ekiti. Because I intentionally won't add Lagos, because Lagos was recently absorbed into the Western Nigeria program. What we are saying in essence, as far as merit is concerned, you cannot tell me that in these small areas, you won't find people that are competent to man this whatever. And without that principle, federal character, which I call equity principle, people like that will be I have somebody, my mentor, Dr. Ime Ebon. He's from Eket, minority area in, what do you call it? But this is a fantastic man. If you had used merit and whatever, people like that would not have seen the light of day. He was to be the MD of Icon Merchant Bank before the bank went under. So this is what we are saying. Merit, yes, but at the same time, the interest of those smaller ones must be taken care of.
All right, Prof, let me let you weigh in here. How do we calm the frayed nerves of agitators against perceived marginalization when we say we should stick to merit rather than federal character or federal equity, as Madam Judge would like to put
That's a fantastic question. You see, it baffles me when I listen to politicians arguing for what we call federal character or federal equity, like you mentioned it. Remember, I will take you to a small memory lane. Remember, before the military intervention, when we were operating the regional government, you can see development in all the regions based on what they have within their geographical area. And of course, you remember that time that the Western region became the signature of people's eye. People look at it, and in fact, the free education that was introduced by that time was what we are benefiting from today. Let me tell you this, when you're talking of federal character, sincerely, if it is managed or if it is applied the way it has been structured, it will have been a better thing. Just like you're talking of NYSC today, is it still achieving the desired goals that was established in 1973? It was meant to integrate everybody in Nigeria together. But as I'm telling you today, the Yoruba people would prefer to serve in the Yoruba land because if you go there, you're not sure of your security. And when you're talking of federal character, my brother, we must learn to put the round peg in the round hole. If you put a square peg in the round hole, you have to do a lot of adjustments for it to work. What kind of federal character are we practicing when you are putting an engineer to be the Minister of State for Justice? What benefit is that? When you are putting an engineer to be the Commissioner for Education, where we have multitudes of professors in the country that are specialized in education. What I'm saying is, where there is merit, you cannot hide it. Merit is like a light. They will search for you, and they will get you, and you will be placed appropriately. And that's the best way to develop Nigeria. Today, I want to tell you, when we have a very fantastic person, you see, when the head is good, all others will follow suit. For any fish to get spoiled, it starts from the head. But the moment you are considering the ethnicity consideration, you are considering where you come from, I want to tell you, remember sometimes ago, people were talking about educationally disadvantaged area. And they were saying the northerners are educationally disadvantaged. If you are used to them, you know that some of them are extremely brilliant compared to the southern Nigeria. But if you don't belong to a group of godfatherism, you can never be discovered. In Nigeria today, if you don't know who is who, you cannot get to where you're going. And how long are we going to be in that order? And of course, some people will tell you today that the first-class materials of the universities, they go into multinational companies. The second-class upper, they go into private academics to better the life of a lot of people. The second-class lower, they go into the public service. And of course, the third class go into politics, and the dropouts go into the underworld, and they control all of us, whether you like it or not. The dropouts controls everybody in the country. And of course, if they have been identified, that's what when I'm talking of merit, if you're taking care of your own children, are you considering the children of your neighbors? Even if you cannot give them money, are you offering advice that can make them develop like your own children? So if you are not putting that into consideration, when you're talking of godfathers, because they know, some politicians will tell you now that what is in education, don't worry, as a primary school soldier, you can be commissioner, you can be this, and we are seeing this in Nigeria. You can never give what you don't have. What I'm saying in essence is that I'm not saying that they cannot consider minority interest, but look for the best among them.
One typical example of this is, let's say now our national team, and everybody can relate with that analogy now.
You mean the Biafra team?
Nigeria's national team. But when they play, it doesn't matter if they're made up of people from a certain ethnic group.
Good.
We all celebrate when they score goal, up Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Not
So what, and those they are selected based on merit. So what is wrong with merit? Why must we have federal character, that spirit of federal character applied in all aspects of our national life? Isn't it becoming like a clog now in the wheel of progress?
Mr. Akande,
Sir.
This has to do with semantics. We are talking of merit, we are talking of equity. What is the difference between the two? You see, when you talk of merit, let's go, Prof doesn't want me to go through history.
Go through history.
I'm a student of history and I'll do it. When you say potting, all of you are young men. Potting in politics, what does it mean? Moving from one party to the other. It first started in Yoruba land. NCNC had won election to Western Nigeria legislature. The day they were to swear in the whatever, some people potted from NCNC to not necessarily the AG, but they reduced the numerical strength of NCNC to have made it to form the government, and that was why Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was not the first premier of Western Nigeria. He had to go back to the east and disturb one Dr. Eyo Ita. But that's not the issue now. So I'm now talking of whether was he meritorious then or not. He was, but he was operating on a foreign land, in spite of the fact that we are all Nigeria. Look at our Nigerian coat of arms. They say unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. What is the meaning of diversity? It is agreed we are all different, but we are brought together, but we must be unified. How do we get unified? It's because we must spread everything to go around everybody. All these people we are talking about, you want to tell me there's no ethnic group in Nigeria or sub-ethnic group in Nigeria that hasn't got a professor or a banker or a lawyer or whatever? That is what we are saying. You want to choose 36 ministers. Let each minister come from each state of the federation. So when you now talk of merit, that doesn't mean somebody from Lagos. It's only Lagos that it is allowed. If you come to me now, you say you are Emeka. I know Emeka Chukwumerije, you are from the east. If you say you are Danladi, I know you are from Hausa land. If you say you are Moyosore Akambi, where am I from? You cannot deny these things. We must take them into reality and work with them to foster cohesion and unity in our country. That is what the whole thing is all about. But with the problem, that was why I say those who fought for Nigeria, Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, you know, our Awolowo, we could see what they were doing when they were there. I remember a story. My late friend, Prince Demola Adeniji Adeli, when he was council chairman on Lagos Island, he said, Malam, do you know that me and Alani Okiki Okposhu, we were setting the pace in local government administration in Lagos. It is what I do that Alani will copy, others too will follow suit. And everything was going smoothly. So it is those who are implementing the policy that we should hold responsible. Now everybody is blaming Buhari, that is nepotistic, he has nepotism and whatever. Danladi Usman, where is he from? Is he from Kaduna, Plateau, Birnin Kebbi or wherever? You don't know until you look at his form. You now say Danladi Usman from Kebbi State, whatever, Kinikon and whatever, from Kaduna State. But they all bear the same Muslim name. When I first met Prof, I said, I'm Malam Jaji. He said, Malam. Anyway, Malam is a teacher. And I told him, I'm Moyosore. If I hadn't told him that I'm Moyosore, will he not take me for a northerner?
All right. Wait, okay, Prof. You think federal character has not taken us anywhere. Now, can you paint a picture of where federal character has failed us as a nation, and it should rather have been on merit?
You see, sincerely, there is this theory propounded by Bartelis that says nothing is good or bad. It depends on your perception of it. But I want to tell you, as far as I'm concerned, the federal character is the denial of merit. It is a situation where you leave the best for the worst. And I keep saying it. If you look at what is operating in Nigeria today, with due respect to politicians, even if you look at our parastatals today, people want to eject their children to take after them, not minding the interest of the populace.
Yes.
And it's common everywhere. Is that a federal character we are talking about?
All right, then. Well, the debate continues. Federal character or merit, which should we apply? And that will be after the break. And when we return, it will be time for the Fire for Fire segment. You're still watching The Big Issue. Welcome back. Is the federal character principle still useful in Nigeria? Well, this is the Fire for Fire segment. And gentlemen, in this segment, you're free to ask yourselves questions, interject, counter each other's argument, but we don't get physical. And also, mind your language. All right. The distance, the gulf is wide. All right, then, the ball is in your court.
Well,
roll it.
Well, I want to say, that if I ask you these questions, even within the political circle, do you put people that can do it in position? And I can give you one or two instances. Even if you look at the political circles, people that support you from the beginning and gives everything to you were never compensated. And if we are putting merit or into consideration, it is that time you say that you are from this state, you are not from that state, you are from this local government, you are not from this local government. And sincerely, development is something we call truth. What do I mean by the truth? For you to develop a place, you must have the genuine interest of that society at heart.
At heart.
Quite a number of appointments we make in Nigeria, we are self-centered.
No, you see, I get very, very amused when people blame politicians for the ills of the society.
Who should we blame?
We should blame ourselves. You know why? I was on a program here maybe about 3 or 4 days ago. I expounded it that an average Nigerian should be blamed. Number one, everybody must be politically conscious. Everybody must be politically involved. Yoruba will tell you that, oh, Sinibe,
that's not correct in politics.
Yeah,
if you don't have money, no, you don't have money in politics, you cannot get anywhere in Nigeria if you have money.
In a situation where you sit down, you expect me to come and give you 5 derricas or 2 derricas of rice because I'm going to serve you.
It is you politicians that are promoting that. Because even
I'm not Father Christmas.
It is politicians that are promoting that.
It is for you to say, my friend, we are giving
how
you
many
this mandate.
people were you have you given education to think in that order? You remember, we have to say
they deliberately, the military deliberately.
No, the military. Let's leave the military. Let's leave the military aside.
What is the age
in
of
fact,
this
the
republic?
military era is even better than what we are experiencing now. If
From
you look at it
1999
critically.
to now, 1985, I was a student, and the United Nations said every developing nation must.
Why are you putting our culture, our tradition into consideration? Why are you referring us to the Western?
That was 1985.
You cannot compare us with them.
Do we have civilians in government then? So deliberately, these people, they messed up. The way they messed it up, they intentionally messed up the 1999 decree that they gave to you as your constitution. It's a decree. Who sat down to say, yes, this
Since
is
that time, did you allow the right-thinking people to change that constitution?
Right-thinking people cannot
Do you
be
allow
there
them?
because they are not interested.
Because they're here.
The day
They are
the election will be
interested.
held,
The politician
you
will not
see
allow them. The moment you say the truth, they
big
will
men,
attack
they'll
you.
be watching
You will send
CNN.
people to them to
They'll
attack
be
them at
watching,
home.
what do you call
No.
it? Super Sport.
I want to disagree
Get
with that.
involved. If you get involved
If you
in
look
this,
at the political scenario
if
now,
you get involved in it,
you will see a lot of elites there. But do you? Yes,
a lot
in
of
politics.
elites.
A lot of elites are in politics
then
now.
they are not worth it. Because let me tell you, as I'm standing before you now,
Yes.
I retired as a banker in 1996, and I joined politics because primarily I have a degree in political science. Ask
No, your
anybody
degree in
where-
political
ask
science does not make you a
anybody
good
where I'm
politician, no.
practicing. I don't give a damn. I look at you in the face and tell you off if you are not doing the right thing. And I was given the opportunity to walk the talk, and I did it. So everybody, don't be frightened by the intrigues and whatever they bring
Well,
talk to you and whatever.
it's a pity we're in the public forum. You see, there are not so many things I will have mentioned here. That,
No, you are
of
free to
course,
mention them.
Feel free, feel
no,
free.
you
Go
can't be
ahead.
that free. You got politics in Nigeria is another thing entirely.
Because
they're
some
not
people
playing
made
it the way it should be
mistake
played.
in 1999.
Because
when
if
the
you have
military
money,
were going,
if you don't have money in
they said
Nigeria,
civilians
if
come
you are
and
an
take
emeritus
over.
professor,
Some
you are
people
nowhere
said
to be found.
Are we digressing from the topic? The
We're not
subject of debate
digressing.
today?
What I'm saying in essence is
It's
this.
the same thing.
Even if you had the idea and you have what it takes, if you don't have money in Nigeria, you can, even if you are talking of merit or even the
Why do we
character
talk
you're
of
talking
money?
about.
During the time of Awolowo, during the time of Azikwe,
As
it
at
wasn't
that
money.
time, as at that
you
time,
contribute to the
people were
development
giving.
of your party.
You don't need
Now
to ask
we
for your
expect
right.
a big man to bring money.
As at that time, you don't need
Now,
to ask
if
for
a
your
big man
right.
should bring
They
money,
give you your right. But
is it not
today, they deny you of your right
the that
openly.
dictate it to you?
I am telling you.
I'll give you my
And
money.
I give a simple.
I'll tell you what to do.
Let me give a
If
simple
you don't want
analogy.
me to dictate to you, you to contribute.
Look at
So
what is
that we
happening
are
today.
all
They have
you all
destroyed.
contribute to
The
it.
politicians have destroyed primary school. They have destroyed secondary school. They are now moving to the universities. And that is
They've
why
already succeeded. See,
I'm happy he's alluding to my fact that they are concerned. You know that.
this man, American sociologist, Tucker Parson, he divided the society into different strata.
No.
He now said, your political structure is your superstructure. If you don't get your politics right, you can't get anything right.
Do
Nigeria
you
is not getting
remember
our politics
that
right?
there's no
That is why
nation-
everything is.
So
There is no
as,
nation.
as federal character, the principle and spirit of federal character, has it allowed us to get that political structure right?
No.
And how?
I would say
Yes.
no. No.
How?
Because there's no nation that can grow more than the level of our teachers. Have you paid attention to educational sector? You even look at the budgets you have just they just
The educational sector has been messed up. It is incumbent
By who?
on- It is by the military.
No,
It is
I will
incumbent
not.
on us.
I would not agree
Yes.
to that.
I
The
will-
military did not establish a private university in Nigeria. The military did not destroy primary public schools. In fact, during the military, there were limited proliferation of private schools.
Yes.
Today, every nook and cranny of Nigeria, you see
Now
a mushroom primary school.
tell me about 5 billionaires in Nigeria today. The Dangotes of this world, the Hotel Dollars of this world, the what's the name of the Glow man? Adenuga. Yeah. Adenuga established a company before he became what he is. Are we not told? Are we not aware of how everything happened? Because when there was a company that was coming up, they intentionally.
Let's not move far from the topic of the
Now, what we are now talking of is, if you allow people, look at the refineries. Obasanjo sold the refineries.
Let's talk
to
about
Dangote
reality.
Until Yar'Adua came to cancel it.
No, that's not the issue.
Now, what I'm telling you is,
We are talking of appointment into positions.
there is no
But
way
I am
you
saying
can tell
that
me somebody cannot be appointed
Federal
as a
character
minister from
jettisoning
Kebbi State.
meritocracy.
We have 36 states, for God's sake, and your constitution.
State is
that is your
a creation
grand
of
norm.
human beings.
Your constitution is your
It's
grand
a-
norm. It is the organic law so far in this country, and we must obey it.
Constitution-
If you don't want to obey it, let's go and
Let me tell
let's
you,
go and
constitutions are made for
review
men.
it.
Men are not made for constitution.
For instance,
We
And
must
that's why-
obey it. 36 states in Nigeria must produce 36 ministers.
okay, for instance, let's say, for instance, now the portfolio of, let's say, the Ministry of, let me say, the Ministry of Power.
Housing.
Yes.
And
let's just take let's try and unbundle it now. Let's say now the Ministry of Works, the portfolio of the Ministry of Works now is to be given to a particular person, and the only state that is yet to be represented in the federal cabinet, let's say for instance, is Gombe State.
Yes.
And the person pushed up by, of course, the political forces in Gombe State is probably maybe not somebody that is in tune with infrastructural development or understands that ministry and how to drive it. Yes, so what happens? Would you just give it? Would you just give it to him because you have to settle everybody from each state, or because he is competent?
The law did not say that. There is what we call management skills.
The laws are made to be broken.
Where there is no management. The law did not say that. What the law says is that look for the best person.
The decree we were given.
The law says look for the best person in your area.
That we are not operating a decree.
Contradicting that we are not operating a decree.
But what I'm saying is, the law says get the best from your locality. Not putting the round peg in a square hole.
It depends.
That's what I'm saying.
It depends on
no, you cannot do that because if you don't have what we call technical skill.
It's not still Rufai.
Technical skill is important in everything we do. If you don't have a technical, can you take a Samra to be a lawyer?
Senator Shehu Sani, is he not a first-class senator?
What do you mean by first-class senator?
Is he from Oyo?
What do you mean by first-class senator? Define your
representing his own people.
Your concept of first-class.
Very, very good at what he's doing.
By what standard?
By my own standard.
Fantastic.
I can see it.
Which is personal.
Nasir El-Rufai, when he was there as a minister, we knew what he did. As a governor now, we know what
you must have the technical knowledge of what you are doing. If you don't have
when
it,
you are made a minister,
you can't break even.
Be a specialist in whatever.
You have no. You are not necessarily a specialist.
That will supply.
No, the technocrats will make you to spend 20 naira to do a work of 5 naira. So yes,
Prof,
yes.
In the country today, there is this deep-seated ethnic division, rivalry, and everything. Yeah. So, in a way, to pacify most of these issues, rancors we're having between ethnic groups and some other groups, contending groups in the country. Maybe that is why that principle and spirit of federal character was brought to the fore, to ensure that, yes, we have a platform, a template that brings everyone on board and carry everyone along.
Everybody must have
equity is a relative term.
Nothing
is equal in Nigeria. Let me tell you. Even in the world, nothing is equal. But let me tell you,
some people in the
when that thing was conceived,
they want to go away. When pick up
are we the same country?
Why don't you want them to
If
go?
you look at the national policy,
equity is relative.
All right.
I reserve the right
he was talking about you're trying to say something. Maybe no, he was trying to make a point. Quickly.
Yeah, what I wanted to say is that look, in Nigeria today, they say land of equal opportunity for everybody. Are we equal in terms of opportunity?
No. And now somebody is now saying
to
ensure equality,
in our constitution,
everybody be involved. Let every part of Nigeria be involved.
We are not saying everybody should not be involved, but you should consider the technical knowledge of where you are putting them. Not just putting someone that is not qualified for position.
I made the question, I threw the question earlier on, that can we say every nationality, linguistic nationality in this country, we cannot find an engineer, we cannot find a lawyer, we cannot find any professional.
But how do we, I agree with you, but how do we find them when it has been structured in a way that certain people with certain political interests are the ones thrown up to fill those positions? So in that case now, the federal character principle is faulty.
That is why I'm using this forum to challenge Nigerians to be involved in the political process. Because if you are not involved, you have your card now.
The road was not built in a day.
It was not built in a day.
Which people are participating in politics now cannot be compared to 10, 15 years ago.
All of you here now,
everybody
I know all of you will vote in 2019.
Today we are politically conscious.
You might not be able to vote in 2019.
Okay, maybe one at a time. Let's hear him out.
Your vote will be very, no, it's fire for fire.
It's fire for fire, I agree.
Are the politicians ready to give a playing ground for people to practice?
See,
when you see...
As a practitioner, if you listen to me, I will tell you.
Practitioner of what?
Politics. Very proud.
Is politics a professor?
Very proud.
Is politics a professor?
Very proud. I as a practicing politician.
Everybody is a politician.
I had the theoretical backing with my degree.
Your degree has nothing to do with politics.
Since 1996, cognate experience is there, and I've had hands-on experience on governance. So I can stand anywhere and say, if Nigeria wants to get out of where we are now, Everybody.
We should
must
jettison
be-
merit.
Everybody. No, it's not a matter of jettison merit.
Yeah, what do we do?
We should encourage equity.
Equity
And you can
that
encourage
will follow
equity
the
by
normal.
involving everybody.
Let me tell you something now. Even you hear political parties telling you that no, the presidency has been zoned to certain to certain ethnic group or to a part of the country, or the governorship of this state or certain central district has been zoned to the south, to the central, to this part, to this part. How?
Nigerians, we are just being funny. Why are you looking at the macro level? Why don't you look at
No, we're looking
micro level?
No, but what happens at that bigger on that
Maybe-
bigger scale affects what happens underneath.
No, we say we are in a federation. See, the other day, a court has now pronounced that the states, they can use whatever fund they are given in whatever way they want. The federal government hasn't got a say. That's principle of federalism. Constituent states have a degree of independence. If they had come together to say we are forming a country as a federation, this is our central government, we infuse the central government with a power, but it's the other way around in Nigeria. It is the central government that is not giving money to the state, and the state has
You are once in the local
governments have now
government.
mismanaged the funds.
Mr.
Somebody
Jaji.
went to court. The court now told them that, my
It's
friend, you
easier
don't
said
have
and done. It
anything.
works in a local government.
Eh?
And when you are in local government, what happened to you in local government? Were you given your autonomy? Were you given the money to practice?
To
That
God
time?
who made me, I'm standing before man and God.
That's
I had maximum autonomy. Nobody dictated to me the way I should run the local government. I did it on my own.
we are
and I'm
talking
paying
of
for it
financial
today.
support to local government in Nigeria.
Financial support. What the law says is that what you are giving Babiala, the Babiala federalism we are practicing in Nigeria, what you are giving from Abuja, the state will now add 10% of internally generated revenue. How can the state give it to you if they don't call of you together? That is why we had JAC, Joint Account Committee. It is from that meeting that the 10% generated by the state will
Talk
be
of the
given to
generator
you.
of Nigeria.
And what
Don't
you
talk
do
of
with your
Lagos
money,
State.
it depends on the man managing
Talk of the
place. That is why I was
Mr. Jaji,
mad
you know,
when I
but
was
I
told
don't-
that I cannot be a
Mr.
local
Jaji,
government chairman.
he's the only one that has asked the question, and I've put you
No,
on the
you
defensive.
can't- I
You've not
cannot
asked
ask
him a
him a question
question.
because
Ask him a question.
I
Let
cannot ask him a
him
question because
convince you.
I'm
Let him make him convince you why we should
moral
choose.
ground.
Make him
I'm on a
convince.
higher moral ground.
Which area? On which platform?
On the factor that I said we didn't come together willingly. Our forefathers were coerced
Let me
into
tell-
being
if
in
you are saying
Nigeria.
that, are you saying the husband and wife they are married themselves ab initio, not from the same origin? They have come together.
Yes.
Circumstances have made them to be together.
Yes.
And they have to
and
think together.
circumstances can separate them.
Yeah. And that's what's happening in Nigeria now. And
No,
that's
it's
what is
not
happening in Nigeria now.
It's not happening in Nigeria. Otherwise, we should have
If it's
allowed
not
Kanu
happening,
to get away
it is
with
because
it,
there
with
are
his
some
custody.
forces somewhere that is preventing
Those people in Catalan, Spain. I was thinking it's only Nigeria that is going to go against separatist movements. I didn't know that Ubuntu can do it. They are dealing with them in Catalan. So the same thing is happening
The
here.
most important
What we are emphasizing equity.
But why these agitations have come up, like you mentioned Catalan, and you mentioned, of course, like what we just had in the recent past in the Southeast, is because of perceived marginalization, where the federal character principle has failed to calm frayed nerves.
No,
Yeah, he's
because
nothing like
the
federal
operators of the
character.
system.
It is the
Look at what
succession
Buhari
of
did.
selected
Buhari has paid the something being owed those who participated in the civil war. When did the civil war end? Many of you were not born. The man has now paid. He has now paid it. The other time too, we heard that these are petty issues that were left undone. That was why those people are feeling that after the war, you say no victor, no vanquish. What are the evidences? Now the evidences are now being addressed one by one. He has paid the pension of some other people to about 2 weeks ago. So what are we talking about? Bring out your grievances and they will be attended to. It's not that does not mean that you should shut me up because I belong
Nobody is shutting anybody
I
up.
belong to a minority group.
What we are saying
A
that
minority
if you
group,
belong to the minority
the
group, develop
aggregation
yourself
of
to be
minority
useful to
group.
yourself and your society.
Is that?
If you belong to the minority, develop yourself to a level that you can beat yourself.
When I'm not allowed to develop,
Why wouldn't you allow? Who denied you?
The big three.
Who are the big threes?
The Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba.
I want to disagree with that.
No, you must disagree. That's why we are here.
Listen,
we are not here to agree.
Ken Saro-Wiwa came from a minority group. Ken Saro-Wiwa came from a minority group, but he developed himself and he made his voice known internationally.
Where is our friend today, Saro-Wiwa? Is Saro-Wiwa an Igbo man, or Yoruba man, or Hausa, or Fulani?
That's what I'm saying. He came from
Saro-Wiwa from Ijaw.
Yeah, minority
and that
group.
was the reason. That was the reason why they were fighting. That was the reason why one of the big three ensured that Saro-Wiwa was killed. Who was the head of state then? Sani Abacha. Is he from Yoruba land? He's not from Ogonina. Why is the man agitating? The man said, the bulk of what you are using in this nation
Came from our
you are
not getting what I'm saying.
Our
You are not getting my
environmental
Hold on, gentlemen. You still have more work to do.
Yes.
You must convince this beautiful audience here.
Are you not convinced about my arguments?
Well. It's
argument?
it's going to be. We'll have the next segment will be questions. They'll ask you questions and you answer. Of course, your answers must be convincing, and that would be after the break. You're still watching The Big Issue. Welcome back to the program. It is still The Big Issue. Well, it's question time, and our beautiful guests here are itching to ask our debaters questions. The first question is from, or comment is from Dr. Ononuga from the Department of Education in Olabisi Onabanjo University. Fire on.
Yes, my question goes to Malam Jaji.
I'm not surprised.
But let me also do a kind of foundation for this question that I'm gonna ask.
Quickly.
As a politician, we are equally aware of the fact that when you talk about the issue of godfatherism, is one of the creatures or creation of politics. And I know that as a deep-rooted politician, can you convince us that where you have godfatherism, we can equally allow the promotion of equity in all the facets of our national life, knowing fully that even in the political cycle, we see that there are a lot of favoritism here and there. And the drive for equity has not even been taken care of fully amongst the political class, talk less of now coming to the national life. So I would want you to try your best to convince us that the political class has actually done so much, because I can see that you have advocated and you are still advocating for equity in terms of our national life. But look at it from the background of the political party to the national life as a country.
All right.
Thank you, sir, for your very, very germane and intelligent question, even though you've answered the question by yourself. You see, what is happening is rather unfortunate. I won't stand here and call black white. And it is, we are going to rescue ourselves from it. When you talk of merit, that's why I said, don't look at Abuja alone. Look at your various states. I want to use 2 states to explain the question you asked. I want to use Kwara. There was a time in the life of Kwara State, I'm from Kwara State anyway, we were complaining that a particular ethnic group was dominating us. The civil service, they are so educated that before you say Jack Robinson, they occupied every facet of the bureaucracy. So when it pleased Babangida to compensate his people over there, he took a large chunk of Bogu, he gave it to Niger State. That's the most fertile land in Nigeria. He gave it to Niger State. He now removed the Okun people. He took them to Kogi. When Okun people got to Kogi, they are now minorities. Now in Kwara State that they left, another hegemony has started. If a particular area does not support you as a governor, you cannot make it. It's not by our own making, it's because of the configuration that is on ground. Look at Lagos State. The quantum of development that is going on in a particular axis in Lagos State has never been witnessed before.
What axis are you talking about?
I'm talking of Ekpe axis. You asked the question. I'm a very, very blunt person. It's good. Why? It's because their son is the present governor. And Lagos State is the richest. It's even richer than most of the countries in Africa. So what we are now saying that is now that if the man will talk of equity, he will spread the thing all over the place. Look at the pictures being bandied about on Facebook. There are some roads in Lagos now that are very, very in deplorable conditions. And they were not like that before, in the last 4 or 5 years. So when you talk of the macro, think of the micro level too. The whole thing now boils down to all of us seated here and people at home.
We have more questions.
That will be, be politically aware, be politically involved. Join any of the political parties in your places of, residence.
All right.
So that you'll be able to push this.
All right. Another question.
I just want to make a contribution, actually. I want to agree with him in terms of in terms of using merit. Let's forget about the minority and majority. Just find someone who is competent to do the job as far as it's well done. I'm from Kwara State as well, Ilorin to be precise. And I will use Ilorin as an example. All parastatals in Ilorin is dominated by the Emirates. And that is the major reason why we lack many things in Kwara State. I can say that.
Please clap
and
for her.
You see, a petrol attendant is being appointed as the Kwara State head of service. Do you want to tell me that we don't have professors in Kwara State? And that is why we are lacking so many things. I wouldn't mind if an Igbo man will bring development to my state as far as the job is well done. So I think we should do everything on merit. Find someone who is capable of doing the job as far as the job is well done.
All right. Good contribution. Getting the job done. In support of Prof.
Prof, yes.
And are you pleased with that?
She's my daughter. I can't say she's not my sister, she's my daughter. We are from the same place. I'm from Ilorin too. So we know the problem.
All right, we have another question. Sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. My question is to Malam Jaji. And actually, I believe in one Nigeria. And if you look at our coat of arms, it says unity and progress. So I really believe in unity. But come to think of the federal character, I should have called it federal equity. If somebody is from a minority and there is a position, let's say a federal cabinet, and the person is not qualified to fit in the position, and we are saying that we want everybody to be equal, how do you see this as it will bring development to the country?
All right.
That's my question.
Question is for you.
You see, of recent, maybe about 7-8 years ago, another terminology crept up in the political circle, in the political firmament. That is professionals in politics. Professionals in politics. I'm a doctor. I've put away my stethoscope. I'm playing politics. When you are going on hustings, what we mean by hustings is, you will be campaigning all over the place. You will be peeping, you will be looking at them from your window. That look at them, I want to run. And kinikon. Now, they are campaigning. This is a medical doctor. This is a lawyer. Think of any professor, any profession. They are in these political parties. Now, when it's time for appointment, it is then you now know that. How many of you know how to play what? Do you need any sense to play what? Aha. Our leaders, I must say this, have now reduced that kind of exercise. Before, the party will sit down, the party hierarchy will sit down and determine every issue on its merit. We have lawyers, we have doctors, we have anything. But it is then they will now say, this man belongs to this caucus. Remove him. They don't mind a carpenter like my daughter rightly put it, a petrol attendant becoming a
commissioner. What if the petrol attendant is qualified?
What makes him qualify?
Maybe it's as a result of maybe lack of job that made him pick up employment as a petrol attendant. But when the opportunity come, when the opportunity read its head, he was made a commissioner.
Then I will not look at him as petrol attendant again. I'll look at him based on the document he has shown me. But since he has not shown me any document, I still regard him as petrol attendant.
All right, next question. Quickly.
Okay, my name is Dami. My question is for Prof.
That's why you resemble me.
Okay, we know that actually to get to get something you have to be merited in it. Okay, what if you have merit in it and yet you don't know about it? And what if you have merit in it and you don't want to be involved? This is Nigeria we're talking about. Okay, Mr. Konde said something about Gombe State, and someone that is qualified, they want to give a position for engineering or so, and the only person that is qualified is probably a lawyer. What if someone that has merit in engineering does not want to get involved in politics?
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Let me just say this. It's not when you are involved in politics that you are appointed for a position. You see, when you are qualified and you are competent, your action and inaction within your locality will indicate you. You know, merit is like a golden fish. It has no hidden place. You'll be discovered. Let me tell you, she was talking about petrol attendants. But let me say this. Nobody can buy experience. Even if he's a graduate and he's a petrol attendant, he cannot be a commissioner because he has not acquired prerequisite knowledge, whether in the public service or in the civil service, to get to that level. But of course, it is because of what we are talking about, godfatherism, nepotism, and of course, which political party you belong to. Not minding the interest of general.
Which caucus?
Yes, not minding the generality, the interest of the general society. You see, in every position you occupy in life, you must leave a footprint there. Let them know that you have participated there and you have contributed positively.
All right, thank you very much. Another question.
Mr. Moses.
Who's your question directed at?
The professor, emeritus. I want to applaud you, Professor, for your conspicuous and laconic analysis. You told us with your oscula that the merit system is very, very advantageous and prolific as well as fecund to the pro bono publico pro bono. And let me ask you this. Let me ask you this without palatoglossa erratum. That what can you fathom as a disadvantage of this your merit system? Does it have any disadvantage? Yeah. Knowing fully well, according to global accessional osculation, we said that anything that has advantage must have what? A disadvantage. So highlight in a neteteric in toto just a disadvantage of the merit system. Thank you.
All right.
Neteteric in toto.
I hope his grammar has impressed you. Answer the question.
Well, you see, he's just playing on semantics. And of course, I want to say, whatever that has advantage will have disadvantages. Let me tell you, when you're even talking on merit all the time,
some people are put in position without having human face because they will tell you, you see, one problem with brilliant people is that they compare everybody with themselves. That in fact, they want everybody to be at the same level, at the same frequency level with them. And it's not possible because there are principle of individual differences. What is facing you is backing me. Your problem might not be my problem, and my problem might not be your problem. So what I'm saying in essence is that that's notwithstanding, the advantages deriving from being competent to occupy a position is more than the disadvantages you can get there. Because you are going to put your competency into task. And you are going to select people. You see, you cannot do it alone. But if you are not competent, if you don't have the wherewithal, if you don't have the skill to identify talents, you will just be roaming on the same spot.
All right. A round of applause. Well, our debaters have indeed done a very good job in convincing our beautiful audience to believe their standpoint for federal character and for merit. Well, we'll take a quick break at this point, and when we return, it will be time to coast home on The Big Issue. Welcome back. Indeed, you agree with me that we have started an interesting debate for and against the federal character principle. Well, Prof, your last take on this subject matter today.
Yeah, what I want to say is this. Merit is not the bed of roses. You have to struggle for it. The road to success is carpeted with broken bottles, thorns, and what have you. Only those that can persevere, those that can endure will get there. But when you get there, don't hide your talents. Let people know what you possess.
All right. Well, anyone can be a teacher or professor, but not everyone can influence you to strive for excellence, just like he is saying now, and also make a difference in the world around you. Malam Jaji, your last take.
My last take is nothing but saying everybody must be involved in the political process. Every segment of this nation has intelligent people that can occupy, offices. And when it is only the political parties that are the platform now, they don't even allow for independent candidates. So use that platform too to get what you want. Join political parties and be part of the process.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, gentlemen, I would ask you to officially sheath your swords on this debate today, and I would like you both to shake hands. Let's mend fences. A round of applause for them.
Thank you. God bless you.
All right, well, that's the show. That's how it has been on the show today. Thank you very much for being a part of the show, and I would encourage all of you to join our online community. You can connect with us at TVC Connect on Facebook and at TVC Connect also on Twitter, at TVC News NG on Twitter. And you can also connect with me at Femi Akonde TVC. Thank you all for watching The Big Issue.